This House of the Rising Sun guitar lesson will focus on a strumming arrangement that works well for a strum-along or sing-along performance. Along with chord diagrams and a guitar karaoke practice video, we're going to cover it all with a step-by-step approach. Section 1 is a 4-chord sequence, starting with an open A minor chord, then an open C, open D, and then an F chord. And the voicing that I think works best for this arrangement is a 5-string F chord. Technically it's an F/C because C is the bass note, the 5th string, 3rd fret. Now for beginners, if you haven't played an F chord a lot, you can go to a 4-string F shape, but you give up a little bit of that bass response that sort of fills in the gap when you're strumming on your own. You could also, if you want, strum the full bar F chord. But with that, let's put the sequence together. We're going to do a 1-strum approach just to get the changes down, and then we'll focus on the strum pattern. So here we go with A minor, C, D, and then F. Next we'll focus on the strum pattern, and with that we take our fretting hand, sort of lay it across the strings, so when we strum it we get that sort of muted kind of percussive kind of feel. And the strum pattern we can describe a couple ways: down and up strums and a count. And we'll start with the down up strum approach, which will be down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And that's going to be the strum pattern for each chord. You could also count it like this: 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever way works best for you, apply it. And speaking of applying it, let's go to the opening A minor chord and hear how the strum pattern sounds applied to that. 1, 2, ready, go. And let's do it one more time. And this is just the initial way to fall into the strum pattern. You're going to, once you become familiar with this, you're going to add your own sort of variations, little micro strums as the song progresses. This is just a way to fall into it. And speaking of falling into it, let's apply this now to the opening 4-chord sequence. We'll do a slow walkthrough. 1, 2, ready, go. Section 2 is another 4-chord sequence. That'll be A minor, C, and then 2 E's, 2 measures of E. And let's review that sequence right now, and we'll apply the strum pattern to it. 1, 2, ready, go. With that, let's back it up to the beginning now. We'll put sections 1 and 2 together, an A chord sequence, A minor, C, D, F, A minor, C, double E. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Now for those of you who are going to sing along while strumming, the next step is to focus on syncing or timing the lyrics with the chord changes. And if you haven't done a lot of that, it's not too difficult, but let's start with a 1-strum approach to get you acclimated to syncing or timing certain lyrics or syllables with certain chord changes. Step 1, the first down strum on that A minor actually starts on the is lyric. There is a house, so house syncs up with C, in New Orleans, and then nothing on the F, and then they call will be A minor, the rise, so first syllable of rising, the rising sun, and then second E is just empty on that. Let's apply that to the strum pattern now. Slow walk through. 1, 2. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. Section 3 features the same 4-chord sequence as Section 1, so we'll be repeating that 4-chord progression, A minor, C, D, and F for Section 3. And then for Section 4, we have 3 options on how to play Section 4. The basic option, Section 4 with an E7 turnaround, or the interlude version of Section 4 with an interlude that you hear on the famous recording by the Animals. We're going to go over all 3, starting with the basic arrangement for Section 4, and that's a 4-chord sequence, A minor, E major, and then double A minor. So we'll review this basic arrangement, and we'll combine Sections 3 and 4 together, because we still have to show you how to sync up the lyrics. The lyrics, you have some options. Here's an example with Section 3, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, girl, soul. Regardless of which one you use, you want to land that on the F. So we'll back it up and apply that, and it's been the ruin many a poor soul. And you could say Lord God and Lord, I know I'm one. That would be the basic arrangement. With the E7 turnaround, it's sort of a substitute. This is an E7 chord, and we would substitute that for the final A minor chord. The reason why, it creates a little drama or tension on purpose that sort of revs up into the next verse section. Because House of the Rising Sun is essentially a bunch of verses that repeat. The 4 sections we're covering are sort of mini sections for a larger verse section that, again, repeats throughout the song just with different lyrics. But I'll back it up with Section 4, those final 4 chords, show you how the E7 sounds. And Lord, I know I'm one. Even on that last chord, you have the option of changing the strum pattern as well. And Lord, I know I'm one. Again, that would lead into the next verse section. Finally, let's go over Section 4 with what I refer to as an interlude. This matches what you hear on the famous version of House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. And again, going back to Section 4, it's those first 2 chords, and Lord, I know. Now we go back to A minor. But then we're going to go into an 8-chord progression. And I'll back it up again. And Lord, I know. And then on 1, we'll go back to the same 4-chord sequence that starts the song, Section 1. Lord, I know I'm one. There's no vocals here. And the next 4 chords will be A minor, E, A minor, and then E. Or E7 for that final chord. Let's put this version with the interlude. Let's review it again, but this time we'll go back a little bit, we'll combine sections 3 or 4 together with the interlude version. And it's been the ruin of many a poor soul, and Lord, I know I'm one. Once you have the main arrangement or verse sections down, then you have the option to add an intro as well for a performance. And a couple options as far as an intro goes. A real basic intro will be no intro. What I mean by that is you just kick in with the verse. In other words, there is a house. That's option 1. Option 2, you could back it up to a 4-chord sequence to sort of rev up into the vocals, and that would be the final sequence, section 4. So you could start or use an intro like so: A minor, there is. That's one option. And then the final option, if you want to extend it a bit, again, you can copy the arrangement by the Animals, which will be an A-chord sequence. This could work well if you have another guitarist that may want to solo a little bit. There is. So there are 3 options right there for an intro. And then, of course, the ending as well. A lot of options on that. Again, the final vocal, and Lord, I know I'm one. This is the basic arrangement. Lord, I know I'm one. You could add vocals or no vocals at all, but essentially the ending, regardless of what arrangement you use for section 4, would be a 3-chord progression: A minor, E major, and then back to A minor for the final strum. Without any vocals. You could soup it up a little bit like that. You could even throw in an E7. Now let's put together the complete verse section. And what we'll do is we'll also add the ending we just talked about at the end of the progression. For section 4, we'll do the basic ending for section 4, which is A minor, E, A minor, A minor, and we'll connect the ending to that. And this will help give you a better sense of the arrangement of the song. We won't apply an intro, we'll just kick right into the verse, so the cue will be there is, and we'll start strumming. Ready, set, there is. Once you have each section down, the next step is to put together a complete arrangement or performance of the song. And you can do that along with my House of the Rising Sun karaoke video. And with that karaoke video, you can either practice singing along with House of the Rising Sun karaoke, playing guitar with House of the Rising Sun karaoke, or doing both.